Supporters, they get a chance to see their team doing so well, and so many good young players playing well, and you know, a lot of them international players as well. So really good for the supporters.
For set pieces, you need obviously help as well from the ref, because otherwise it's we create chaos in the box. It was a foul on Alisson. If they win without that goal, I'm fine with it. But with that goal, it feels just a bit like it's not right.
First goal was probably a little bit dubious. You know, could have went either way there. With a couple of blocks on him. Second goal, it was a well-worked set piece, really. But you know, these are something we need to work on, because teams will be watching this and be looking at our defensive set pieces and seeing potentially a weakness. So we need to make sure we correct that as soon as possible.
We had now a really long run without a defeat. We actually never thought about it, to be honest. We had too many draws from our perspective in that spell as well. So and now we are. This run is over. Good. Let's start another run.
To get down here to do the interviews, we've got to come through loads of West Ham fans. Some of them are talking about challenging for the title. Can West Ham do that this season?
Do you know, I want to be really positive all the time, and I'd like to turn around and say that's what we can do, but I don't see that at the moment. I see us challenging whoever are the top four, but we're certainly not getting carried away. We're still pretty new to it here, and it's feeling really good at the moment, I've got to tell you.
Well, West Ham fans should be allowed to get carried away a little bit, shouldn't they? Because there's so much to admire about them at the moment. And not for the first time, we're going to look at set pieces, because they are nailing them.
Yeah, West Ham had a plan today, a game plan, and they executed it brilliantly. And part of that was the set pieces and the corners. And they had 3 corners today, dangerous, 2 goals, and they hit the bar off the other one. So it's definitely a massive part of their game. And Jurgen Klopp is, you know, he's asking for a bit of help for his goalkeeper, but I don't think Antonio's doing too much. He's just standing in the way, and I feel like it's, you know, one where Alisson needs to be a little bit stronger and come and punch that. We've highlighted Ogbonna's arm. Yeah, it is in the air a little bit, but you would expect your goalkeeper to come and deal with that a little bit better, because I don't think Antonio's doing too much.
So that's fine for you?
That's a goal. I think that's a goal. I don't see where the infringement is in that one. They didn't learn their lesson, because the second corner, they've hit the bar with Dawson. And the thing that puzzles me is that Alisson isn't asking for a defender either inside between him and Antonio or the other side to help him out a little bit. So he's getting caught up and distracted with what Antonio's doing, as we can see here. He's bothered with him, he's bothered about him, he's not concentrating on where the ball is. Brilliant ball from Jared Bowen. And that's straight off the training ground. Here we can see Antonio blocking the goalkeeper. Declan Rice has a nice little block, which isn't a foul.
Just by standing there?
Yeah, just on the back of Van Dijk and Kurt Zouma. And that's not an easy header as well, because that's a tight angle. Great ball. That's something that they'd work on in the training pitch, and they've executed it brilliantly today.
So if you were in a side where the centre-forward was on the goalkeeper, would you offer, I mean, I know you'd then vacate a different position, but would you offer, or would you get a teammate to try and get in between goalkeeper and striker?
Well, I think after the first goal straight away, you're going to try and set up a little bit differently, but I think that's down to the goalkeeper normally. The goalkeeper will ask for help, and some goalkeepers like his defender inside, in between him and the striker, and some like it on the outside, and it's just so they can deal with that and let the goalkeeper focus on what he needs to focus on.
But they're clever routines for you.
Yeah, especially the last one. It's a great ball. They've got good delivery from a lot of players, West Ham, and the ball in from Bowen, the block from Rice is on time. Antonio's distracting the goalkeeper, and as I say, Zuma's got a tight angle in. It's a well-worked goal.
The other thing with West Ham analysis, right, is that it can often look quite similar week on week. But that is because they're doing the same things over and over again consistently well. And they did it today against one of the best teams in Europe.
They were magnificent. Only 31% possession, but it's what you do with that possession. They had a game plan, and I know it's straight from the off, really. I mean, when you look at the clip here, we look at the shape. They've got the 4-4-1-1, 4-5-1 at times, but everyone knows their jobs. Just highlighted Antonio there. First thing looking, running behind, occupy the defenders, get your team up the pitch, and that's what they did. Rice in midfield, excellent. You see Benrahma, Bowen and Fornells. The first thing they're thinking about is, can we get that counter-attack? Can we get the ball forward quick? Rice again had a magnificent game in there, but runners forward. West Ham know that Liverpool love Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson to get their full-backs really high. Talk about a defensive team. West Ham have got 5 players here trying to make a difference in the opposition half. Here, Johnson goes in behind, and as a defender, it's so difficult when the ball keeps going. You just get unsettled. You see Antonio in the middle of the pitch. Look at the time it takes him to get... He thinks one touch there, and he's gone. And he's got runners in behind. On another day, he scores here, takes a better touch. Dawson came on for Agbona, 4-0, and this is a goal. We talk about the runners, but they're running with intent. They're not just running for no reason. And it's a lovely composure once you get in there. And they're doing this against Liverpool. They're not just a rich team in the Premier League, they're doing it against one of the best teams in the league.
So it's also interesting in that, in an era where we talk so much about pressing and chasing it, that they tend to hold, keep their shape, win it, and then break.
So that's where the possession comes in, and they only get 31%. They all know their jobs. And that's what I love about David Moyes. He's always so organised. He's such an underrated manager. Now he's got a little bit more flair up front with them, the 4 I mentioned. But they've got to do something when they get in there. And when they're doing, they're taking the chances.
Lots of debate about the Aaron Cresswell challenge. I'll come to you on it first, because Mike has changed his mind 17 times during the course of the afternoon. So, is he lucky?
We've both changed our mind all day.
I know, but you're newer, so it's easier for me to put him away.
Listen, when we first saw it, I think we both said, not a foul, not a red.
Correct.
And then, as we've been watching it through the day, we've had we can see it slowed down and a lot of replays of it. Maybe it is, maybe I think... At first I just thought it's a good, solid tackle from Cresswell, but when we see it like that...
it's always going to look worse, slowed down.
Yeah.
But still, he is out of control.
His body's a little bit out of control, isn't it?
VAR say they didn't feel there was the intensity in it. So they said that's why they didn't overrule it, intensity. But, I mean, I don't particularly like this phrase, but you've seen them given, haven't you? Yeah,
it's a red card, isn't it? It's out of control. You talk about intensity, but end of the day, we've been told if a player does that sort of thing, it's going to be a red card.
But at the end of that, a deserved win for West Ham, just to end on a positive.
Excellent win for West Ham.
That was that from Jurgen Klopp. Arsenal at home in 2 weeks' time. What are you laughing at?
So honestly, what that made me realise is that I'm delighted I'm not a manager, listening to some of the questions that they get asked. It's honestly, it's just crazy. You could see why some of them get so angry and walk off. Because some of the questions
ridiculous
I find really bad for the managers.
I feel like
when they come out of that
point
situation.
about how difficult it is sometimes to do post-match interviews.
I can imagine.
And defend our journalist corner here.
No, but I think it's important to listen to what the manager says and ask another question on what he's just said, rather than have a question in your mind, let him answer it, and then ask him the same question.
No, not you, Steve.
Speaking about that particular interview.
OK.
Sorry.
Let's get back to the anger of Jurgen Klopp on the first goal. He thinks it's a clear foul on Alisson.
Yeah, well, I said at half-time, I'm not going to change my mind at half-time. I think he's occupied by Antonio. I think Ogbonna comes off the near post, eye on the ball, starting to move backwards. Yes, his arms are in the air, but he has to go in the air because he's moving backwards and he's jumping. And if that was a Liverpool goal, it'd be hypocritical of me to say, I think it's fine. I actually think
the right
arm
of Ogbonna is what Jurgen Klopp
Excuse me?
The right arm of Ogbonna
is what Jurgen Klopp. But he has to jump to get some elevation, to get a header. So... Yeah, I'm happy for that goal to be given, to be honest.
Remember as well, yes, Antonio's touching him, yes, but he's moved away from Antonio. Agbona doesn't know. That could be one of...
Yeah.
For all Agbona knows,
that could be Van Dijk behind him,
So you've got the goalkeeper coming out to him, and Agbona has not looked for him. He's not put his arm where he can impede him. He's just gone up. So you look at Alisson, and Alisson has got it all wrong. He's got it all wrong. In the end, the ball's gone in.
If that was
that's the man who's been a manager.
If that was Van Dijk and Fabianski, I'd expect Liverpool to be given the goal as well. You know, if Van Dijk's gone up and Fabianski was the goalkeeper, I'd hate of it to have been disallowed. So I'm happy with the West Ham goal.
Manager's point of view, if that's your team and your goalkeeper, what are you saying?
Foul. Foul.
I want my goalkeeper to be protected, like Jurgen Klopp wants him to be protected. If I'm David Moyes, I'm saying no foul.
You asked him if he was a manager, and that's what he just said.
What he's done is he's got himself in a position where he's having to have a standing jump. He's timed it all wrong. He's got himself occupied with Mikel.
Right. So
Antonio.
I'll rephrase that.
He's 6'5".
What's the former manager's opinion? Is that a foul or?
I think it's a foul.
A foul. Okay.
I think it's a foul because exactly what you said. He leads with his right arm. He leads with his right arm. If that's a header there, another defender going there, he leads with his right arm. He elbows him in the face, and the referee gives a foul and probably books him.
Let's see what Dermot Gallagher thinks. Happy with the decision, Derm?
I didn't think it was a foul at half-time. I still don't think it's a foul, Steve.
But nice one,
you
for not changing your mind, Derm.
Don't change your mind, Dem.
I think it's a good goal. I think the keeper comes. He's got ample time to come. I don't think he's strong enough. I think he's from behind. I think he's got the ascendancy because he sees where Ogbonna is. Ogbonna doesn't know where he is. But for me, I think still pictures, not always the best to look at, but you see point of contact and such like. But when you see it, I don't think he does enough, and I don't think Ogbonna does too much wrong. So I think goal. I think we've had 3 like this season. We had another one with West Ham at Everton early in the season with Pickford. So the referees are consistent in allowing challenges like this now and not overprotecting the goalkeepers as the accusation was before.
West Ham again. I mean, I think it's a ploy for them to be very physical, to occupy the goalkeeper. And I think Ogbonna there, when he lifts his arm, he knows the goalkeeper's on his way out and he's trying to do everything he can to obstruct him.
Maybe, Tim. I think, you're a manager. You have to do your prep work, and that's what teams do. But I still think that because Alisson's coming from behind, he has his ascendancy because he's got more to go through. He can see where Ogbonna is. Ogbonna can't see where he is. He doesn't know at what point he's going to come to him. So on that basis, that's why I would rule a goal.
Tim, if this, I'm playing devil's advocate here, of course.
That makes a change.
If you swap Alisson for Virgil van Dijk and that ball goes in, is it a foul?
I think if he jumps with his arm like that and
Virgil's behind him,
Virgil's head's coming into it, I think he elbows him. I think it's even a card. I think you're not allowed to lead with your arms now. We see it time and time again.
Now, talking of cards, Jurgen Klopp used the word reckless with Aaron Cresswell's challenge. It was only 8 minutes into the game, this.
Oh, well, we referenced this at half-time. All 3 of us didn't like it at all. We all said it was reckless.
It is reckless.
We know he's going to win the ball, but we also know that in his own mind, he knows about this follow-through. Because you don't challenge like that if you don't want to. You win the ball, you kick it out. That is a reckless challenge. And I said, that was half an hour after we seen Mason Holgate get sent off for the same type of challenge.
And you know what?
Naughty challenge.
You know why that's reckless as well, Derm? Because people will say that, yeah, but he's come off the ball and the ball's made his foot blast up. He's come in at such a reckless angle that his foot's come off the ball, and it could easily have gone, if his leg's standing, bang, straight into the leg. So it's reckless.
And they've looked at it time and time again in VAR and come up with no sending off.
No foul.
No foul at the time. No foul at the time on the field. But VAR have looked at that, like you have.
It's a red card. It's a red card. And I tell you, he gets away with it. I used to do that for a living. He gets away with one there, Cresswell, because if you see it in real time where the fans behind, do you see the reaction from them West Ham fans? Straight away, they're up. Sometimes it can't be a goal. Or say it has to be a tackle. He gets them going. The place just lifted. Yeah. It lifted, and it gave the momentum to West Ham after that tackle when Jordan just hit the ground. Jordan's done plenty of them. You give and take them. He's got away with one today, Cresswell. It should be a red card.
Explain to us why that isn't reckless, then.
Well, I think it is reckless, and reckless is yellow card, actually, Steve. It's...
What's the crowd?
I think the fact that he hasn't followed through like Holgate did, it's the point of contact with Holgate. He's gone through with his studs. He's caught him in the back of the calf, high up. This one, it's almost where he catches him, it's almost shin on shin. And I think that's what saved him. If you see, he hasn't actually dug his studs into him like Holgate did.
Dermot, he's totally out of control of his body going in for that. And the fact that he's landed on that ball, look, he could take his foot out of that because he's 60-40 for me. He could have easily taken... I think that Cresswell's is reckless because he's gone on the ball, then his foot could go anywhere off of the back of that. So that's reckless.
I'm the same. There's no... I mean, I know there's different challenges, but there's no difference for me in this. The intent was the same.
Shouldn't be a different punishment.
The intent was the same. You are winning the ball and you are following through and you're catching him. You are catching him. The right leg comes up and around. Otherwise, you're in control and you're just winning the ball and clearing it out. Look at the right leg finishes up in the air.
With Cresswell's tackle, he's shrewd with it.
Yeah.
He's a shrewdy with that tackle. With Holgate, it's just blatant. He's almost saying, send me off. He's got the because he's come on. He's put him on in midfield. He's give the ball away 5 times over time.
When you're looking at that in VAR, should that make any difference to the VAR?
No, that's
official?
why he's got away with it. I think that's why he's got away with it, because it's Aaron Cresswell, who's an experienced player, rather than so blatant, leaves his leg there.
Yeah.
Cresswell tries to wrap the other way around, because what Dermot's looking at, shin on shin, Dermot's looking at his right leg. It's not his right leg, it's the other one. It's the left leg what he catches on the right shin of Henderson, or the right inside of the knee of Henderson. You know, it's not the right one. Look at it. Look at his straight leg. It's inside of Jordan's right knee. Now, watch. There. It's not the shin on the right leg to right leg. And if he plants his foot there, Jordan Henderson, he breaks his leg.
Exactly.
Or he does his cruciate.
Look, he's out of control there. Look, bam. And that is where they're going to have to be careful with stuff like that, because I'm really pleased that Jordan Henderson isn't really badly injured, because for him to not even get a yellow card for that, you know what I mean? If I'm in the VAR, I'd be very disappointed with myself looking at that in hindsight. I'd be disappointed seeing that.
Dermot?
Well, I think he has got lucky. There's no doubt about that. I think he's got lucky because, as I say, it's the point of contact. I think he hasn't hit him with the studs into the leg like Holgate did. So I think that's what saved him. But the fact remains, it is not a nice tackle. The unfortunate thing is the VAR can only go red or leave it alone. And I think he didn't think it was red. So therefore, I think Cresswell got really, really lucky because he didn't get punished at all. He didn't even give a free kick away. OK,
Dermot, thank you very much. Just one quick one before you go. If there was VAR when Tim Sherwood was playing, how many incidents per 90 minutes would you
I'm booked out at 7. I haven't got time to answer
that. Tom and Dermot, thank you very much indeed.
You're
that was
the
a big talking point. And they are backing him at the moment, and this is one of the reasons. 23 points into the top 3, above Liverpool, level on points with the champions, and 3 points behind the leaders, Chelsea. What does that do to the West Ham dressing room to put in a performance and get a result against one of the big boys like that?
It's huge. Well, what is he saying there? What he told him at half-time? You know what? We can get at these guys. We've got confidence. Let's get at them. Let's step into them a little bit and see what we can do on the counter-attack. And they caught them time and time again in the breakaway. We talked about Fornals, Jared Bowen, getting in support of Mikel Antonio, Ben Rama. You know, I thought he might have come off earlier and he put a negative change on. He didn't. He made a few negative changes towards the end. He was really protecting what they had. But they deserved it. And I think the confidence what that breeds. I mean, you beat one of the big boys. I mean, Liverpool, one of the best teams in the world out there. You know,
You've got City and Chelsea to play in the next point in the league as well.
They won't be scared. They won't be scared who they play. You know, they've earned the right now. They're up there in third position. No one expected them to be third. No one expected them to... Well, I certainly didn't expect them to emulate what they did last year. I thought it was an overachievement. Perhaps there's not. And come January, we saw the Czech guy there, the investor. You know, he's invested into the club because they've signed 2 Czech players, and they understand that they've been absolutely brilliant, Soufal and Souček. He might say, you know what, let's go and Spain again. I trust this manager. Knows what he's doing.
He chose the right game to come and watch, hasn't he? 3-2 victory against Liverpool.
Absolutely.
You're going to invest after this game.
He's been listening to us for years talking about this in London Stadium. There's no atmosphere and all that. Don't matter how many running tracks around the outside of that pitch. It sounded pretty good there today, and the players responded from it. Listen, they might spend again. Why would you not trust this man now? I think he's done his rehearsal there.
Absolutely.
David Moyes, give him the money. Let him spend. See where you can end up. Champions League. Aim for the stars.
I think he's going to need another striker, that's for sure. But what that does for West Ham, for me, is when you beat a team like Liverpool at this, and we're talking about Liverpool...
25 unbeaten Liverpool.
Absolutely, Liverpool. Then it doesn't matter who comes and it doesn't matter where you go to. Because like you said, the second half, he said, let's just go for him. He said they tried it last season, or they've tried it before, and I think it was when Mo Salah scored when they beat them. But this is a different West Ham side with different confidence, and you know, with players who he's got 5 or 6 players who are playing the best football of their lives up to this point. So you should go for them, you know, because even if West Ham lost this game, it's not going to look bad on them. So you might as well go for them, because now they're in the top 3. Yes, we saw they've got City and Chelsea to come, but when they come, they won't be thinking, oh, let's be scared of them. Let's go for them again, see what happens.
And they deserve it, don't they? This is not a fluke. You know,
from the most points they've ever had at this stage.
And from the beginning of the season, they've spent time at the top of the league. Yes, they've drifted down a little bit, but they spent time at the top of the league for a number of weeks. They've drifted down, but they've always been in that upper echelons of the Premier League. So for them to jump back into third is not a surprise at all. And the fact that they are joint with Man City, who everybody regards as the title favourites, 3 behind Chelsea, gone above Liverpool. I mean, it's an incredible achievement. Yeah. And who's to say that, you know, when they go to Man City or when Chelsea turn up at the stadium, they can't go and give them a run for the money and maybe take points off them. Yeah. And they're that good at the moment and that dangerous.
Says, they're playing Thursday night, which seems to have been a big issue to other clubs over the years.
Yeah.
Not at the moment for West Ham.
Let's see if that catches up with them. Hopefully it won't.